Today is Zero Cancer Day, a celebration of the impact you and our programs are having on the men fighting prostate cancer. It's an impact made possible by your generous donations. And on this Zero Cancer Day, your gifts are tripled thanks to a match from our partner Bayer. Today's fundraising goal is $25,000. Donate today and your gift will have 3 times the impact to help men and families in need. Join the urgent fight to end prostate cancer. And tune in right now for Zero Cancer Day, a very special day for you in the prostate cancer community.
Welcome back to Zero Cancer Day, an event that truly showcases the impact Zero has on prostate cancer patients is the Zero Prostate Cancer Summit. And the man you're about to meet says this event changed the direction of his prostate cancer journey because he was able to learn new and life-changing information about a treatment he desperately needed. This is Tony Minter's journey.
I walk in, I'm sitting there, she's at her desk. She says, I got good news and bad news. She said, the bad news is you have cancer.
Let us pray. Our God and our Father, we're so thankful and grateful.
And she said, the good news is there's a good chance that we caught it early. And I thought about it and I said, oh, okay. Well, this is good. This is good. And then I got that look. She's like, good. It's like, yeah, now I get to talk about what I am experiencing. Hopefully, I can help some people. For me, I decided on the course of the treatment for prostate cancer. And 9 years later, the prostate cancer is still in remission. That's one of those things where you have to advocate for yourself. There are a lot of men out there that don't even know what a prostate is. I haven't been in the medical field, in the military. I really understand a lot of medical terminology and things that relate to the body. I got to thinking, how many men would be okay doing research and trying to figure out all of the doctor speak? And so I dove in, I tried to learn as much as I could and put myself in a position to be available to talk to men. I started a support group that was for newly diagnosed. Started making a trip to Washington, D.C. to the Zero Summit. Had I not been going to those summits and had the ability to talk to someone about that, I probably still would have been suffering in silence.
Look at me and smile. You know what make you happy, don't it?
It's a difficult fight to fight. And if it was not for my family, it would be probably easy for me to give up. My wife showed me what it meant when it says for better or for worse. And there were times when I would say to her, I can't believe you're still here.
So now we get into the real deal.
Even though people call you a superwoman, you still need a support system. And I remember in the hospital one day, I'm in the cafeteria crying by myself because I didn't know what was gonna happen. I'm sorry. I'm just glad he's here. And so I needed to do what I could to make sure that he stayed here.
I know that none of us come to stay forever, and I want to make sure that I've done everything that I can do as it relates to prostate cancer. Thus, I aspire to inspire before I expire. That's why I'm here. That's my purpose.
As a man of color, and as a veteran, Tony's message speaks to so many. Had he not come to the Zero Summit, he says, he'd still be suffering in silence. We don't want any man to suffer. Zero is here to help. Allie Manson, Zero's VP of Government Relations, joins me now to talk about the 2022 Zero Prostate Cancer Summit. Allie, Tony really said it all. This summit has a big impact on men who are fighting prostate cancer.
You're absolutely right, Colony. I've heard our champions talk about the summit as prostate cancer's family reunion, which I love. But I promise you, my family reunions don't involve hours of educational programming and the chance to have a real measurable impact on the experience of men with prostate cancer across the country. This year, we're offering education at the summit that will cover diagnosis, treatment options, and health disparities. If you need it, we've got it. And that's just on the education side. The part closest to my heart is the advocacy. The 2022 Zero Prostate Cancer Summit will be the biggest patient-led prostate cancer advocacy event in the country next year. We'll be sending patients and survivors and their loved ones to Capitol Hill so they can tell their stories and ask their members of Congress to take a stand for prostate cancer. Because I believe that's how we end prostate cancer, by investing in research, by expanding access to screening and early diagnosis, and by eliminating health disparities. Our advocates make a difference, and there's nothing else quite like standing up and taking part in the democratic process.
Allie, we were virtual in the 2021 summit because of COVID, of course. And this coming year, we are planning something really exciting that still brings in the virtual, but also allows people to come in person. It's our hybrid summit for the very first time. Tell people about that.
You're absolutely right. We have a huge variety of education sessions, and they'll be accessible both in person and online. So if you're there at the Gaylord in DC, you'll be in the room, you'll get to hear the speakers. If you're at home on your computer, you can watch the sessions live as they're happening or later when they're recorded. So whether you're newly diagnosed with prostate cancer, a longtime survivor, a caregiver, or a loved one, we'll have information that you can use to make the best choices about your treatment, about your diagnosis, and everything in between. And hopefully that makes a man's prostate cancer experience just a little bit easier.
And what's so exciting about that is that anyone can attend that. We can really literally reach thousands and thousands of people across the country with a hybrid summit.
Mm-hmm. And we'll have our breakout sessions in person that in a normal world, you could only go to one. But now you can go to one and you can watch the other one recorded online later. And we'll have new faces. But we'll also have some of our past favorites like Dr. Kelvin Moses, Dr. Rachel Rubin. And I think it's going to be so thrilling this year.
I can't wait. It's going to be great. Well, it's Zero Cancer Day, so you have to drop some exclusives for us. Any speakers besides the ones you already said?
Sure. I'm excited to share one of our mission speakers for this year. Stevie D is a hillbilly hellraiser. His words, not mine. And he's a stand-up comedian who was diagnosed with prostate cancer at age 44. He credits his sense of humor and his wife with his survival. But I really hope that our Zero community will agree that laughter is the best medicine. And they'll love Stevie D. Apparently the second best medicine is moonshine, but you'll have to take it from Stevie.
I can't wait to hear him. I think having some humor in all of this is really important for our community for sure. So as we said earlier, this is a hybrid event. It's both in person here in DC and virtual. For those keeping an eye on the news and COVID, which I think we all are, right? We're glued to the TVs. What can we tell everyone about our safety protocols that we're putting in place? Obviously, we are being extremely cautious in this.
Absolutely. So first of all, by making the entire summit available virtually, it means that you can attend from at home, you can attend anywhere. But for folks who are coming in person, we're working closely with our medical advisory board to make decisions about how to keep people safe. So we will be requiring proof of vaccination against COVID. We'll also alternatively offer the opportunity to have a negative test within the past 72 hours. I also expect that we'll be requiring masks while indoors at the Gaylord. All of this is subject to change, right? The public health situation is continually evolving,
right? And
our medical advisory board will continue to advise us on this.
Well, I think we all hope when March rolls around, we'll have some good news to share. But in the meantime, we'll keep that in mind. Something all of you watching need to take advantage of right now is registration is open. That means you can register. And I understand we've got quite a good deal going on right now if they register early.
We've got 2 deals, actually.
Oh, wow.
So first, until the end of Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, so until September 30th, you can get half off registration with the code EARLYBIRD.
Okay. Everybody got that? Early bird.
However, today, the first 10 people to use the code ZCancerDay on registration will get free registration. So
great.
Just
awesome.
The first 10.
That's great to hear.
But visit zerocancer.org/summit to register.
So mark your calendars. The Zero Prostate Cancer Summit is March 6th through the 8th in 2022. And thank you, Allie, for being part of Zero Cancer Day and dropping some exclusives and getting people excited about registering for this awesome event.
Well, thank you for having me. I can't wait to see everyone at the summit in March.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jamie Burse, President and CEO at Zero the End of Prostate Cancer. Thank you for joining us here on Zero Cancer Day. This is an important day because it's our chance to highlight the inspiring impact you're making on men and their families who are fighting prostate cancer. Bringing patients to join our Education and Advocacy Summit is just one example. $1,000 brings one patient to Washington, D.C. so they can connect with others in their community, hear from experts, and share their story to help increase prostate cancer research funding and improve access to care. Past summit attendees have called the summit a 5-star event for the prostate cancer community. Here's what's most exciting about Zero Cancer Day. All donations are tripled. When you donate $100, it becomes $300, and $500 becomes $1,500. Simple math tells you that you've just given a prostate cancer patient a lifeline. And special thanks to Bayer for making this triple match happen. And finally, thank you for making an impact on men fighting prostate cancer by donating today.
We could not do Zero Cancer Day without this guy, Emmy Award-winning NBA analyst and Washington Wizards studio host and Zero champion, Glenn Consor. Thank you so much for joining us, Glenn.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. So, Glenn, you have over the years shared your story, which has really changed a lot of people's lives. You've inspired a lot of folks. Tell us about it. Tell us again about your diagnosis and what it's meant.
You know, my original diagnosis was surreal because, you know, I'm a physical fitness nut and I'm always running, you know, 5 at the time, especially 5 miles a day, and really taking care of myself. And I kept going for PSA checks. My doctors were really on top of it. And I really didn't believe that my numbers were being elevated because I was so healthy. And lo and behold,
looks are deceiving.
Yes, looks are deceiving, especially, you know, when it comes to cancer.
Yeah.
And specifically prostate cancer in this case, because I didn't have symptoms. I didn't feel anything different. And I finally went in. My doctor said, look, this thing continues to rise, my PSAs. You need to take a biopsy. So I took the biopsy and was still to some degree in denial. And when the results came in, he said, you have cancer and here are your choices. And, you know, that's when reality really hit.
And you didn't really tell people in the beginning. You didn't really want to share that.
No, I really didn't. I wasn't sure, you know, like I didn't know what it meant. I needed to do the research on my own. And, you know, what I actually did was I went around to different urologists with my biopsy results and PSA history and said, what would you do? I went to
second opinion, third opinions.
I went to like 5 guys. Do I need surgery? Do I not? And 5 out of the 6 said I would do surgery. So it was really at the end of the basketball season, and I was still, you know, involved in that. And they said you can wait 2 months and have it done then. And you know, it turns out that a lot of my friends who were some in the industry of basketball and some not, that I went to college with, had the surgery and were able to guide me through it. So that's kind of where my heart lies, is really helping people through this process.
Right. You are paying it forward because those men helped you.
Yes.
And now you are talking to some folks that have probably been newly diagnosed and wondering, what do I do now?
Right. And, you know, that's kind of the most rewarding part of the whole thing for me, Colony, is that when I would come in for the national race every year, I would speak.
You've been our mission speaker.
Mission speaker. That's what I was looking for, that title. Yeah. I couldn't figure that title out.
Right.
And I would speak to the caretakers and the prostate cancer survivors. And every year I'd come back and one would say, you know what? After your speech, I went and got my PSAs checked. And that to me means a lot because I was able to influence that person. And, you know, the reality is for guys, it's showing vulnerability. You know,
and humor. You also use a lot of humor.
Well, sometimes, you know,
which I love.
Right. Well, what do they say? They say, if you laugh, the world laughs with you. And if you cry alone. So,
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, you've come a long way. Not only have you been our mission speaker year after year, but you also did one of Zero's podcasts, Prostate Cancer Uncensored, and talked about
that you forced me into doing.
Yes, I did, because I knew you would be so good at it.
She was dangling everything.
But you were very vulnerable, and you talked a lot about your relationship with your wife and the side effects and how you got through that. And that in itself, that podcast has been so critical for men. And that goes back to that vulnerability.
It is. And
so it's a great listen. And for folks out there, if you haven't listened to it, check out the Zero Prostate Cancer Uncensored.
It is an emotional thing that you go through as a guy with prostate cancer surgery. And there's so much involved. It is complex. It's complex before the surgery, during the surgery, and after the surgery. And it's really best for men to open up and talk about it and kind of get advice from other men on what they're dealing with. Now, that being said, everybody's prostatectomy is different, depending on if the cancer has spread, if you got to go back in afterwards, whatever, it's all different. So, there's not a blueprint emotionally on, hey, if like all these self-help, these self-help books, it's like there is none here. This is, you got to kind of really dig deep down into yourself to figure out what to do and how to handle it emotionally, because it is hard, and you need support, and you need to be able to open up. And like anything else, being vulnerable was not a strong point of mine. It's a character flaw of mine, always trying to, pound my chest and I'll figure this out. Well, that you can't do it alone.
Right. But you've been an example for your two sons. And how has this sort of changed knowing that one of the risk factors is having it in your family? So what does that change for you being a father?
Well, it changed a lot because number one, I don't want them going through what I went through. It's not fun. And, it does make you stronger in a lot of ways. And I think it's helped me in a lot of ways in my life, but, and I'm healthy now, but I don't want them going through it. So I'm hoping technology and the doctors are able to find something. But look, my father had it. I had it. My father had radiation. I had it, and I had the surgery. And I have two boys, and one of them's now 30. The other is 27. And they're going to need to get their PSAs checked at an earlier age than most. So I really encourage them to do that.
I'm glad. No, that's a great message for everyone. So not only are you talking about this, sharing your story, but you and I had a little bit of a battle of fundraising our teams in past years. So tell everybody why Zero Cancer Day is so critical to raise funds.
Yeah. I mean, you guys do a great job. There's a lot of associations out there, but Zero really does a great job in the awareness, making it aware for men, making it okay for men, and donating money to Zero Cancer brings that awareness, really out in the forefront. And that's the most important thing for guys to go get, tested. Mm-hmm. If you don't get tested, man, you don't want that surprise later on where they caught it too late.
Right.
And I think that's the big thing for me and why the importance of Zero Cancer is. It's a great resource for people that just found out that they might have it, not just the patients, the caretakers, everyone that's involved, family members. That's the beauty of Zero Cancer, and that's the importance of donating, especially this year's race.
Glenn, thank you so much for helping us raise awareness on Zero Cancer Day and being with us. We really appreciate it. Very grateful, and you inspire so many. So keep doing it.
My pleasure.
Thanks.
Remember, you are needed more than ever. With increasing prostate cancer cases, more men are falling through the cracks. Donating here on Zero Cancer Day is easy. Head over to zerocancer.org/give. You can help provide direct support for a patient in need. All donations today are tripled, meaning your gift goes 3 times as far to save lives.